She demanded we move into a lavish new house, claiming her parents were gifting us the down payment. I discovered she'd actually taken out a secret loan in my name. At the signing, I swapped the documents with divorce papers and said, "You signed for this, not me." I, 35 male, am currently watching my soon-to-be ex-wife Jasmine, 33, have a complete meltdown via her mother's texts. But let me back up to where this nightmare started. Been married for 7 years. I work in supply chain management, make about $85,000. Jasmine works part-time at a wellness center, brings in maybe $25,000. We lived in a decent 2-bedroom rental, $1,800 a month. Life was comfortable, not luxurious, but stable. 4 months ago, Jasmine became obsessed with this house. Not just any house, a $750,000 Mediterranean villa-style McMansion in the suburbs. Way above our budget, like laughably above. "We deserve better than that cramped rental," she said. "My parents want to help us." Her parents, Diane and Robert, are comfortable but not wealthy, retired teachers. The idea they had $150,000 lying around for a down payment seemed optimistic, but Jasmine insisted. "They've been saving for this? For us. Don't you trust my family?" The pressure was relentless. Daily house tours on her phone, Pinterest boards titled "Our Dream Home," constant comments about how our rental was beneath us and how her co-workers all owned real homes. I asked to talk to her parents about their generous gift. She got defensive. "What, you don't believe me? They want it to be a surprise. Stop being so controlling about everything." Red flag, but 2020 hindsight and all that. She scheduled meetings with realtors, dragged me to open houses every weekend, started talking about our future children's rooms, in houses we couldn't afford even with a magical $150,000 gift. Then came the house, the one she had to have. "It's perfect, and it's under market value. We have to move fast." The realtor Francine was Jasmine's childhood friend. They'd rehearsed this whole song and dance about how this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and another couple was very interested. I said I needed to see financial documentation from her parents about the gift. Jasmine lost it, accused me of not trusting her, not wanting to build a future together, being stuck in a poverty mindset. But here's the thing. I'm thorough. Always have been. Started doing some digging. First discovery. Her parents had just refinanced their house. Why would they need to do that if they had $150K sitting around? Second, Jasmine had been receiving mail at her friend Francine's address. Found this out when a package got misdelivered and the postal worker mentioned it. Third, my credit monitoring app showed several hard inquiries I didn't authorize. That's when I knew something was very wrong. Hired a private investigator. Yeah, seems extreme, but my gut was screaming. Best $2,000 I ever spent. The PI found Jasmine had opened 3 credit cards in my name over the past year, maxed at $45,000 total. She'd applied for a $150,000 personal loan using my information and a forged signature. The loan was approved and sitting in an account she controlled. She'd been intercepting mail by having items sent to Francine's names. The plan was elegant in its stupidity. Use the fraudulent loan as the gift from parents, buy the house, and somehow gaslight me into thinking everything was normal while she controlled the finances. I didn't confront her. Instead, I played along. "You're right, honey. Let's get the house." Her smile could have powered a small city. I insisted on one thing. I wanted to handle the paperwork myself, since I was better with legal documents. She resisted initially, but agreed when I said it would be my way of contributing more, since her parents were being so generous. The signing was scheduled for yesterday. Update 1, the signing. Oh man, the signing. Jasmine was glowing, wore a new dress she'd bought to match the house's aesthetic. Had her nails done. Posted 12 Instagram stories about new beginnings and dreams coming true. We met at the title company's office. Francine was there, of course, along with the seller's agent, the title officer, and a notary. Jasmine had barely slept the night before from excitement. She'd already hired movers, already bought new furniture on credit, surprise, even named the future dog she planned to get for our new yard. The title officer started laying out documents. I stopped him. "Actually, I have some documents that need to be signed first. Personal matter that affects the purchase." I pulled out a folder. Inside, divorce papers, a criminal fraud complaint, and evidence of identity theft. What's this? Jasmine laughed nervously. Just some formalities. You trust me, right? Like I'm supposed to trust your parents' gift? She glanced at the papers but was too excited to read carefully. The title company's conference room energy was infectious. Everyone smiling, Francine taking photos, seller's agent talking about how happy we'd be. Where do I sign? Jasmine asked, practically vibrating. I pointed to the flagged sections. She signed with a flourish, even made a joke about her house signing signature. Then I separated the papers, handed the divorce filing to the title officer, the fraud complaint to Francine, and kept the evidence folder. Congratulations, Jasmine. You just signed divorce papers and acknowledged receipt of my fraud complaint. Silence. Beautiful, crystal clear silence. What? What are you talking about? The $150,000 loan you took out in my name, the 3 credit cards, all documented. Your signature on these divorce papers includes acknowledgement of the evidence against you. Francine went pale. Jasmine, what's he talking about? The title officer, a professional who'd probably seen everything, slowly pushed his chair back from the table. The house? Jasmine whispered. What house? We can't afford a house. You committed fraud to try to buy one, but the loan's already been frozen. I reported it 2 weeks ago. She stood up, sat down, stood up again. You knew? For 3 weeks, every dream home Pinterest board you made, every furniture piece you bought, every lie about your parents, I knew. The seller's agent excused herself. The title officer started packing up. Francine was trying to become invisible. Then came the rage. You set me up. No, you committed identity theft and fraud. I just documented it. She lunged for the papers. I stepped back. The title officer called security. Those signatures don't count. I didn't know what I was signing. You mean like the loan documents you forged my signature on? Security arrived. Jasmine was escorted out, screaming about how I'd ruined her life, how she deserved the house, how her parents would sue me for what, and how no one would ever love me like she did. Francine tried to slip out. I stopped her. You knew about this. I don't know what you're talking about. The mail forwarding? The loan documents that went to your address? The FBI will be very interested in your involvement. She ran, literally ran out of the building. That was yesterday. Since then, Jasmine's been staying with her parents, who are mortified. She's called 73 times. Diane has sent long texts about how I'm overreacting. Robert actually called to apologize and say he had no idea. Francine deleted all her social media. My credit cards are canceled and disputed. The fraudulent loan is under investigation. But the best part? Jasmine posted on Facebook that I sabotaged her dream home out of jealousy, and that she's too good for someone with such a small vision of life. Sure, Jan. Enjoy explaining fraud charges to your next date. Update 2. The entitlement has reached astronomical levels. Day 3 post-signing. Jasmine showed up at my work. Security had to remove her after she demanded I stop this nonsense and buy the house we deserve. My boss called me in. I explained briefly, showed him the police report for fraud. He was shocked but supportive. Gave me a few days off to handle things. Day 4. Diane, her mother, attempted an ambush at the grocery store. How could you humiliate her like that, in front of strangers? She committed fraud, Diane. She was just trying to build a life with you. You never appreciated her vision. Her vision required identity theft. You're being dramatic. Can't you just work this out? An elderly woman nearby was pretending to examine tomatoes while obviously listening. When Diane left, she whispered, "Good for you, young man." Day 5. The flying monkeys arrived. Jasmine's book club, her wellness center coworkers, her college friends. The narrative was that I crushed her dreams, was financially abusive, trapped her in poverty, was threatened by her ambition. I created a simple copy-paste response with the fraud report number and one sentence. She took out $150K in loans using my stolen identity. Most stopped messaging after that. Day 6. Legal escalation. Jasmine hired an attorney. Not a criminal defense attorney, which she needs, but a divorce attorney who sent a letter demanding spousal support. Hilarious. Half of my 401k, the car I bought before we married, compensation for emotional damages, and my favorite, rights to the marital home. What marital home? We rent. My lawyer responded with a counteroffer. She pleads guilty to fraud, pays restitution, and I won't push for the maximum sentence. Day 7. The victim card got played hard. Jasmine started a blog called Surviving Financial Abuse, where she wrote about how I controlled every penny. She handled our finances, refused to let her achieve dreams. I just wouldn't commit fraud. Gaslit her about money. Projection much? Trapped her in a rental that she picked. The blog had ads. She was trying to monetize her fraud story. But here's where it gets really good. Remember Francine, the realtor friend? Turns out she wasn't just helping with mail. She was getting a kickback, a finder's fee for bringing Jasmine to specific lenders who didn't verify documents carefully. How do I know? Francine's husband called me. They're getting divorced too. He found emails where Francine was bragging about the easy money from helping friends get dream homes. He forwarded everything to me and the FBI. The investigation expanded. Suddenly, this wasn't just about Jasmine's fraud. It was about a potential lending fraud ring. Jasmine panicked, showed up at the rental at 2 a.m., pounding on the door. "You've ruined everything. Francine's going to jail because of you." I called the cops. She violated the restraining order I'd gotten. While being arrested, she screamed, "I deserve that house. You're just too small-minded to understand vision." The neighbors filmed it. It's on TikTok now. Someone added the "Oh No" song. It has 2 million views. Update 3. Update 3. The scale of Jasmine's entitlement keeps revealing new depths. Her arrest for violating the restraining order should have been a wake-up call. Instead, it triggered what I can only describe as a narcissistic avalanche. From jail, she called Diane, who then called me demanding I bail her out, because that's what husbands do. When I reminded her we were getting divorced and her daughter committed fraud, she hung up and called my mother. My mom, bless her, told Diane that Jasmine was lucky I wasn't pushing for attempted theft charges on the furniture she'd already bought and had delivered to a storage unit. Yeah, she'd rented a storage unit for the furniture for our new house. Jasmine made bail after 48 hours. Diane put up her car as collateral. First thing she did, went to the storage unit to do a photo shoot with her furniture for Instagram, claiming she was furnishing her new space and rising above negativity. The storage unit company called me because my name was on the rental agreement. She'd forged that too. But the real escalation came when she realized the criminal charges weren't going away. She tried to file a restraining order against me, claiming I was harassing her through the legal system. The judge literally laughed. It was denied. Then she claimed she was pregnant, posted about it on Facebook, started a pregnancy blog, set up a registry. Her mother called crying about how I was abandoning my unborn child. I had a vasectomy 2 years ago. Jasmine knew this. When I posted the medical records on her Facebook announcement, she deleted everything and claimed she'd misread the test. Next, she tried to get my employer to fire me. Sent anonymous emails about my unstable behavior and criminal connections. Attached screenshots of my threatening messages that were clearly doctored. IT traced the emails in minutes. They came from Jasmine's work computer. She got fired instead. Without a job, she couldn't pay for the lawyer. He dropped her. She represented herself at the preliminary hearing. It was something. She showed up in a ball gown, an actual ball gown, said she wanted to dress for the life she deserved, not the persecution she faced. She tried to argue that marriage means everything is shared, including identities. I gave her implied permission to use my information. The house would have been an investment for both of us. She was practicing manifestation and I was blocking her spiritual growth. The judge asked if she had any actual legal defense. The universe wanted me to have that house. The prosecutor presented forged documents, bank records, the fraudulent loan application, text messages where she discussed the plan with Francine, a particularly damning email where she wrote, "He'll never know until it's too late." Her defense? Those were taken out of context. The judge set a trial date. Jasmine screamed that the court was aligned with negative energy and she needed a spiritually aware judge. She was held in contempt. Another night in jail. Final update. The trial was last week. The conclusion was everything I could have hoped for. Jasmine, in her infinite wisdom, decided to represent herself again. But this time, she'd done research. She showed up with a briefcase full of printouts from legal blogs and something called sovereign citizen websites. Her opening statement included the phrase, "I do not consent to these proceedings," and "I am not the person named in these charges. I am the living being representing that person." The prosecutor looked physically pained. The judge warned her twice about courtroom behavior. The evidence was overwhelming. Bank records showing the fraudulent accounts, security footage of her at the bank opening accounts with my information, text messages planning the fraud, Francine's testimony, she flipped for a plea deal, expert testimony about the forgeries, my testimony about discovering the fraud, Jasmine's cross-examination of me was unhinged. "Isn't it true you promised me a dream house?" "No." "Isn't it true you said I could use your information?" "No." "Isn't it true you're intimidated by successful women? You committed fraud." "Answer the question." "No." She tried to call character witnesses. Her mother, who cried and said I was mean to Jasmine, her book club friend who said Jasmine deserved nice things, her former coworker who said I had negative energy. None of this addressed the fraud. The jury deliberated for 37 minutes. Guilty on all counts: identity theft, wire fraud, forgery, credit card fraud. Sentencing was yesterday. The judge considered: first offense, barely helped. Lack of remorse, really hurt. The scale of the fraud, $150,000 plus $45,000 in credit cards. Her behavior during trial, contempt charges added up. The sentence, 18 months in federal prison, 3 years probation, full restitution, and a permanent ban on working in financial services. Jasmine's reaction? She accused the judge of being paid off by me and tried to fire her public defender, who wasn't even representing her. She had to be physically removed while screaming about manifesting an appeal. Diane fainted. Robert helped her out while shaking his head. He mouthed, "I'm sorry" to me as they left. The divorce was finalized the same day. Efficient courthouse. She gets nothing. Actually worse than nothing. She owes restitution, no spousal support, no assets, just debt and a criminal record. But here's the beautiful epilogue. The house she wanted? It was part of the fraud ring investigation. Turns out it was overpriced by $200,000 as part of the scheme. The sellers were in on it with Francine. Everyone involved is being investigated. Jasmine, from federal lockup, is apparently telling other inmates that she's a political prisoner and a victim of the patriarchy. She's writing a memoir called Manifesting Through Adversity. Her mother sent me one last text: "I hope you're happy. You destroyed a beautiful dreamer." I replied, "She destroyed herself when she stole my identity." Blocked. I'm now in therapy dealing with the trust issues from this whole ordeal. My credit is slowly recovering. The rental feels peaceful again. Sometimes I drive past that house she wanted so badly. There's a "under federal investigation, no trespassing" sign on the lawn. The metaphor writes itself. To anyone reading this, if your partner suddenly insists on a lifestyle you can't afford and won't explain how they'll pay for it, dig deeper. If they accuse you of not trusting them when you ask reasonable questions, that's a red flag the size of Texas. Trust, but verify. Always verify. Edit. Since people asked, yes, I'm doing okay, therapy helps. The vasectomy was unrelated to Jasmine, got it before we met. Yes, this is all documented and real. Edit 2. The TikTok of her arrest now has 5 million views. Someone made a remix. I don't hate it. Edit 3. Francine got 6 months and is cooperating with the feds. The whole ring is unraveling. At least 12 families were affected. Edit 4. No, I won't share Jasmine's prison blog. Yes, she has one. It's exactly as unhinged as you'd imagine.